Welcome to the Strategic Pursuit Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Macias, and today we have a special guest. His name is Gus Tyros Vutis. Gus, it's great to have you on. I want to talk a little bit about the generation that you come from in Europe that migrated here, and you basically built the city from generation, right?
At the whole city, but I've done a lot of projects.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the beginning. I want to know how you got started in construction, and I want to know what led you to the point that you're at now, where you own the electrical business that's been running for decades now.
Yeah, well, I started high school. I graduated from grade 13, and I was supposed to get a scholarship for soccer at Laurentian University, a full scholarship at that time, because another friend of mine that coached me had a scholarship there before. He played on the Canadian national soccer team, and he recommended to the coach that I go up there and play. But unfortunately, my grades weren't that good. It's like he wouldn't let me go. So I ended up going to the steel company, working at Stelco for 5 years. I got into the electrical there. I got laid off there a couple of times after the strikes, and all the strikes and all the bullshit that they had, the unions. So I left that. I started a variety store business, bought a building, had a couple of permits above it, the store downstairs, bought that, ran that for 5 years. And during that time, with the money I had from Stelco and the money I was making from the store, I bought 22 buildings around the block. That was like the mini King of Kensington over there type thing.
Wait, okay, so this was the Kensington area, and this was what year?
This was in the
Okay.
90s. I bought a bunch of units. My wife and I did all the renovations, the painting, flooring, and I ran the variety store at the same time. And then the boom hit, and I sold them all off, cashed in, and then I started my electrical business back in the 91. And I started with just two of us, and three of us, and five of us. And then while I was doing that, I also invested in some commercial properties. I started buying one property, two properties, right? Renovated those, built them up, and just built up the business at the same time. So we got up to about 28 guys at one point, but it was too
Wow.
much. It was too big for myself. We weren't really making more money than we were at 18 or 15 guys, so I scaled it back down. But at the same time, while I was doing that, I was still doing my investments with my properties, buying and selling, flipping. I flip properties. That's why if you look at my books, my business, I don't have a lot of profit. But that's because I use my business to do my holdings on my operations and buying, investing, flipping. So I don't believe in keeping a ton of money around, laying around. I always think, money sitting around does nothing for you. So I always take my money, I invest here, invested there, find a good opportunity, buy it, fix it up, sell it. So I've done a lot of that stuff before. So yeah,
Gus,
so the business was built up basically city contracts.
Gus, question for you, because I mean, a lot of construction workers, business owners that are, working in the business, they don't have that mentality, right? They don't think about investing my money. It's usually just, let's work on the business, let's make our weekly paycheck, let me pay my guys, and done. Where did that mindset come from?
Well, my dad, right? My dad was the type of guy, he would do some buying, and he would kind of take me along on his properties. And I would see the kind of the money, the side money. It was like a side hustle. He would make extra money. He was a tool and die maker. He had a couple of properties, but I took it to another level. I was buying 5 acres, building 80,000 square feet, selling 80,000 square feet. So I like doing that. I like being creative. I like building. I've met a lot of people in the construction industry over the last 40 years. So I use a lot of people that I know. We've known each other for a long time. Good guys, reliable. So I'm never afraid to stick my neck out. Like my wife and I, with our projects that we've done, we've stuck our necks out, put our houses on the line, our equity on the line to make these projects happen. Because you don't take the chance, you don't know what's going to happen, right? That's my belief. I guess a belief I have. I see something, I look at it, I go, can we do something with it? What is it going to be a short term? Is it going to be a long term thing? So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of luck. Believe me, there's always a little bit of luck involved, and there's a lot of hard work. You have to put your balls on the line and basically believe in what you can do, right? And
Yeah, take the risk, right?
always done. Even the apartment building actually I want to do, right? I've invested over $500,000 getting it to this point where I can get a building permit. And there's a lot of people that look at me and say, "Are you crazy? Like, well, we don't need to do this." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? I got a property. It can be developed. I can make good money on it at the end of the day, and it's going to be for a good cause. Affordable housing, people need it. It's a win-win for them. It's a win-win for me. Why not?
Yeah.
So
Uh, and I mean, taking the step from going, the variety store and then complete
yeah.
change in industry, right? Electrical business.
Oh
Where did
yeah.
that come from?
Yeah, well, I was an electrician at Stelco, and I liked the work. It was nice, but it was all the unions, all the bullshit, And so when I got laid off, my godmother had this building. It was vacant. There was a old store there. She came to me. My dad said to me, your godmother's got a building. It's got a couple of permits in a store. You're not doing anything. What do you think you want to run it, open it? Yeah, why not? But I got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
right? And we did well. We did great. We had sandwiches, we had lotto machine, we had coffee machine, we had soft ice cream. It was like, I everybody on the block had credit with me, so they come into me, buy stuff on credit. At the end of the month, they pay me because a lot of them were in my apartments, in my buildings, right? So I had control of the whole neighborhood. Like people come to me, and I know at the end of the month they're going to pay me my $600 or $700 that they built up a tab, right?
Yeah.
And then I would take that money and I bought more and more and more. So I had like 22 buildings all around me in that whole area, right?
Mm.
And I cashed out. I built a house in Ancaster, paid cash, paid everything, built it myself with my contractors. And then I went into a couple big commercial properties. The one on Darno I built, 80,000 square feet of warehouses and shops. I built that up and I sold that in 2020. Now I've got Depew, which I bought a long time ago, which is doing very well. And I've got the one on Ashley, which is going to do the apartment buildings. But I mean, it's like I've done the electrical for so long and I knew the business, what else can I do? And I like doing the construction side, the development side, right? And
Yeah.
and just doing the deals, like I bought 5 buildings downtown and I was just standing in front of the building looking at them. And I didn't even own the buildings. I was just looking at them. Some guy pulls up and says, "Hey, you the owner?" I go, I was with an agent because I was looking to buy them. I go, yeah, we own these buildings. He goes, "Oh, I'll make you an offer." I said, "Okay, talk to my agents here." So I looked at him and said, "Okay, we better fucking buy these things because this guy's gonna." So we flipped them. We flipped them without even owning them. Boom. Right? So we made
That
like 35 grand just like that.
that's the luck. That's the
So
luck right there. Yeah.
it was luck. Yeah. So like I said, I've always liked real estate. It's a solid investment. It goes down, but it doesn't go down, down, down. My father told me a long time ago when he came to Canada, he had some properties. He says, things is buy land or buy, if you find beachfront, buy beachfront and buy land because those two things will never go down. Beachfront is going to run out. People are going to want beachfront. There's only so much beachfront you can buy.
Yeah.
And land, he said, buy land and it's going to go up. It's going to come down. And then in 10, 15 years, it's going to take a big spike again, like it didn't now, a few years ago, and it's going to come down a bit. Wait it out, 10, 12 years, boom, it's going to go up again.
Yeah.
So, and it's true. It's happened twice since my dad told me that in our lifetimes. It happened in 91 when things went crazy, and it happened again 2, 3 years ago when things went crazy during COVID,
That's right.
You
You had everything built up in Toronto, Kensington area. What made you go to Ancaster? What did you see at that time? Because
Oh, no, I wasn't. No, I was never in Toronto. I was always in Hamilton. But the people were in my neighborhood where I was. They called me the king of Kensington because I was like I had all these properties, right? And I had everybody around me renting from me, So they called me the king of Kensington because of the show in Toronto, right? So
okay.
that's the comparison, right? I said, so
Gotcha.
I used to. I mean, it was crazy down there. I could write books on that neighborhood down there. It was an experience.
Really? I'm curious, like how was that neighborhood back in the 90s? Was it quite a good population?
The demographics was probably lower income, a lot of welfare, a lot of social assistance people down there. So what they would do, because I had the variety store, and they also were renting from me, a lot of the people in there. So they would get their check at the end of the month and they go crazy, buying cigarettes, buying smokes, buying beers, buying like crazy, right? And within 2 weeks, the money's out. And then they start running a tab, right? So they'd run the tab. So at the end of the month, they get their check, they pay the tab off, pay me my rent, same time, and then they start from zero again. It's like clockwork. I was like a bank. It was like the banker down there, banker, right?
Why did you give that one up? Why did you give the variety store up?
I mean, there's so many stories. Someday I'll tell you some of the stories down there, but it was like it was an eye-opening experience. I grew up downtown, but I never had the experience of dealing with people that way until I had the variety store business, where you actually see how people live and how they lived and what they lived on,
Mhm.
right? And how one generation of family just kept going to, like, you see the mom was on welfare, and then actually I was in the neighborhood years later after I sold everything down there and cashed out. Um, I saw the kids, they're on welfare, right? And they have kids and they're on social assistance. Like, so there's a generational thing that's built into the system, into the mindset. And, unfortunately, that's what our system breeds,
Yeah.
right? That's what they breed is social assistance and welfare. And they don't really do anything to try and get them out of that rut. The government gives them money for the rent, some food, and the rest they either sell drugs or they do whatever gas jobs, right, to get
Mhm.
by,
Yeah.
right?
Not much has changed at all, right? That
So
that area is
no, it hasn't changed at all. So, and that's why I got out of, because what the other thing was to with the residential rents. I had a couple people that would sniff me all the time, and I didn't want. I always chase them around, and then I gave up chasing because I said, what, one or two rents wasn't a big deal when I was getting like 30 rents, 40 rents a month. And but I got out of them. I got into the commercial stuff. I only have commercial now, and because the commercial is good, you sign a lease, you don't pay your rent, 5 days, I can lock the door until you pay me my rent. There's no landlord and tenant back. There's no nothing. You have a lease. These are the terms of your lease. You don't pay, you're out. I lock you out. And you know what? In the 25 years that I've had commercial buildings, I've never had a problem. I've had some tenants that don't pay, they just leave in the middle of the night, which is fine. Then I don't have to deal with them. And then I'll rent the space out within 2 weeks, the space is rented
yeah.
again, right? But commercial on the bigger spaces that I have, the AAA, like Depew and a couple of spots on Ashley, yeah, I have no problems collecting the rent. They're good tenants, good commercial tenants. Every month is automatic e-transfer to the bank. Yeah.
Let's go to the electrical business. I mean, you started it off very small and you grew it to the 28 employees, but when did you actually realize, and why do you think that you weren't making more money even though you had more guys and the revenue was going up?
Well, when I looked at the books after the 2 or 3 years that we ran at that level, um, I think the biggest problem is that the guys, when you're not at all the jobs or you don't have people watching the guys, they spend a lot of time doing nothing, right? Wasting time. I'm not saying they're not working, but they're not working hard enough or good enough to make money, right? Always go back the next day. Always doing this. Oh, this didn't get done. That didn't get done. Why? Like, what's the problem? Excuses, excuses. So I said, you know what? Okay, fine. The thing, I think when you get to about that number, those numbers, you need to have a foreman or like a supervisor for those guys. If you're going to break up into smaller groups, like right now we have myself, I take 2 or 3 guys. Vince will take 2 or 3 guys, and Big Frank will take 2 or 3 guys. So they're all responsible for those guys, and they know what they gotta get done, right? Whereas before it was basically me, and I couldn't be at all the job sites. So there's things going wrong, things going missing, things were getting done. So we were a little bit inefficient. So then when I scaled it back down and I split up into 3 groups, okay, you do the residential and the service calls. You do the traffic and there's some construction jobs. And I do the city work and some other stuff, right? So we kind of break down into 3 groups and we all keep an eye on that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's become we're I think we're okay now. Like, I mean, I'm happy where we are right now. Could these be a little bit better? Yeah. My problem is people say I'm too nice. I got to be more of an asshole to some of the guys. I'm too nice to them. I let them get away with too much. But at this point in my life, do I want to be that guy? I don't know. Um, some guys I do have to give them a talking to once in a while, but I mean that's every business has that, right? It's not just me. I mean, it happens everywhere where guys don't seem to want to follow direction, or they think they can do what they think they can do, and I said, no, no, this is the way you got to do it. I told you how to do it,
Yeah.
do it, right? So like today, a guy showed up. I was working in Oakville. I told a guy on your way in, stop at the supplier, pick up those 3 spools of wire and a ground wire. Gets to the job site, I get a call. Steve forgot to pick up the ground wire. So tomorrow morning, guess what? I say, and he had to go all the way back to Burlington to get the wire. So now from Oakville to Burlington on the day, like on the traffic is like 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, right? An hour and a half blown because he forgot. So now tomorrow I'm going to give him I'm going to read him out. Say, when did you forget the wire? And you go, oh, I forgot. Well, why didn't you write it in your book, in your iPhone? You make a
Yeah.
list. You know what you're supposed to do. So those are the things that happen that are, shouldn't
Yeah.
happen. And that's what I'm saying. Before it was happening probably more, but now it's happening a lot less. Guys are a little bit better, and I've got the foreman watching them, like, keeping an eye on them. So yeah, it's better.
It's a work in progress. Yeah, no. The official
Yeah.
part is obviously it has to be top of mind. You have different crews, and I know because I'm in the industry as well. Guys like to fuck around.
Yeah.
When you give them a little bit too much room, then they're gonna take advantage. Not just take your hand, they're gonna take the full arm. So I can definitely relate to that.
I'm a hands-on owner. I like to be on the job sites. I like to work. And like I said today, every job I go to, and I go to the job site, I say, okay, guys, today's goal is to get this, and this done. I don't care what time you leave, but you don't leave until you get this done. So don't show up at the shop at 4 o'clock and tell me you got to come back for an hour and a half the next day because it's not going to work. Stay till 5:30, get it done. Let's go. And that's what they understand. They know now that there's expectations. I have to give guys expectations. This is my expectation. I need this, and this done,
Yeah.
right? Or so don't come back unless you're done. Unless you broke a leg or your head got cut off, don't come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now they know with me and the other guys. I said, guys, you got to put yourself in my shoes. I'm charging out for you guys $600-$700 a day. The work we do for one or two guys, say we have two guys that we need to do about $1,500 a day of work, billable work. Show me what you've done today. That's $1,500 I can put on my invoice, right? That's how business is. You can't come to a job site and do $100 worth of work and tell me, that's good work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, and I mean that transparency. Are you like that with all the guys? You're transparent like that when it comes to, okay, this is the numbers, this is what I'm paying for you to be here, and this is what I'm expecting.
yeah, when we do pools, like we put up pools in Oakville at the Oakville Tennis Club on Trafalgar. We had 11 pools to do. We charge out $600 a pool to put up. They know what the expectation is for us to make some money, right?
That's good. I mean, I feel like that's helpful, right? Like giving the guys that putting them in your position, the way that you're looking at them.
Yeah.
You're running this business to make money for yourself,
Yeah.
make money for the guys. It's all full circle, right?
I say to them, guys, you know what a professional is? They go, what? A professional is a person that's getting paid to do a job. He's paid to be a professional athlete, a plumber. So if you're getting paid as an electrician, you're supposed to be a professional. Your job is to get the job done, not to be whining and crying and bitching and moaning. Oh, I didn't do this. You're a professional. I expect to get it done. You're getting paid as a professional. Get it done. That's it.
Yeah.
My job is to get you work, get you the payroll, make sure you have the tools and equipment and that. So I'm doing more than one job for you guys to get one job done. So
Yeah.
put yourself in my shoes. You don't want to be in my shoes for one day. I'm telling you right now. You do not want to do my job for one day because you're not going to last. I'm telling you right now. So some guys get it, some guys don't.
Do you think that that's a different class? I mean, that's what I mean. There's a generation that has a certain mindset. I feel like now these younger guys, they don't carry that same mindset, the work ethic.
No, they have expectations. They have what they call that entitlement.
Uh-huh.
Entitled. Oh, I got to have my coffee break. Or the other day we didn't have lunch till 1 o'clock because we had to put the pole up. I said, guys, let's get this pole up, have a quick lunch, and then get back in the afternoon. We get 3 more poles done. And you know what we did? Because I was there and I was pushing. Let's go, right?
Yeah.
Because if I don't push, they'll just do the one. They won't even put it up before lunch. They would just we'll have lunch now and we'll do it up after, right? And then they would have finished by 1:30. 2:30, 3:30. They would have got two more done, and they would have fucked off, gone home, right? Because it's an hour drive back from Oakville, 4:30, 3 o'clock at the end of the day. But no, we stayed till 4 o'clock, and we got three done in the afternoon since 1 o'clock, right? Because I pushed them to have a late lunch. So
Yeah.
that is what it is.
Different generation.
Yeah.
And what about the business now? I mean, has this business been able to support the development, or has that
Oh, yeah.
be separate?
Well, I mean, all the stuff I've been doing over the years, the business has always supported my developments and my investments. I mean, like I said, I don't try to show, I do show a bunch of retained earnings. I don't show a lot of profit, but your business is based on your sales, your customers, your client base, your contracts, which are solid. So, what you do with your money it's up to you. Yeah, it does. Your books don't look great, but at the end of the day, you've built up what you built up based on through your business, right? So, I've got two great buildings. I'm going to develop the one. I got a house here I just built. I got a house in Aruba. I bought a lot of stuff on the
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
And all of these are generating for you. All of these assets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All my properties are generating income. My house in Aruba generates an income when we're not there because we have a property manager renting it out. We have like $100,000 a year in rental income,
beautiful.
and I think we clear about 50 grand a year in Aruba
Amazing. Yeah.
in rental income. Yeah, we've been going to Aruba for 26 years. We used to go everywhere. Like we went Bahamas, Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, Mexico, Venezuela. But then we went to Aruba one time and we just fell in love with it. We've just been going back ever since. And we like it there because the weather's really good, the food's good, the hospitals are good, you can drink the water, not get sick, and dealing with the Dutch government, and no problem, no problem.
So your wife, you guys have been together. She's been by your side for this many years and has supported you
Oh yeah,
through all of this.
oh yeah, everything.
I'm sure stressing her out as well with with these ideas, because I get the same thing with my wife. But talk to me about that, and how important is that, do you think, having your wife on board?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's been great. She's a retired teacher, so she is always doing her teaching. I did the property stuff, and she would say like, "Oh, what are you doing now? What are you doing now?" Oh, I bought this building. It looks good. And she's all, she shake her head, right? Like, oh, here we go again. But she would never say no, never say no, because she knew what I could do or we could do. So she knew like it's always. I've had maybe one bad deal, and that was because I took a partner in. He wanted to partner up with me. I said, okay. And then at the end of the day, he bailed on me and left me hanging with the building, right? And that was the only deal that ever went wrong. And so since then, I said, never again will I partner up. Never. It's be all anything I've done on my own, my family has always been great. As soon as that one deal I partnered up with the guy and he bailed on me, left me hanging, that was the only deal that went bad. So I never again partner up on buildings.
Yeah, well,
Never.
you have a different partner, your wife, and she's been through it. You guys have stuck it out.
Yeah. And she's been very, very supportive. She's been in there. We've been painting, cleaning, sweeping, laying interlock, brick, whatever. Yeah, we do it all. We've done it all. So and it's made us money. So she sees that, you know, it does pay
Yeah,
off at the
yeah.
end of the day.
What
Yeah.
seems to be a crazy idea in the moment pays off at the end of it, right?
She's been great. I mean, she's even with the new building, she looks at me and I go, yeah, but it's a good building to do that, a good site to do that, right? And she sees it, she saw the plans, and it's going to be for affordable housing. She says, oh, I like that. That's nice that you're going to help the people and do this and do that. I said, yeah, we'll make some money, but we're also going to help, for a good cause. And so she's okay. She's always been supportive, and even when my boys are home, they always help me with my projects, working, doing stuff, and helping me out. So yeah,
Amazing. No, I think other people need to have that. It's something inspiring, right? Where you have that partner that agrees and is on board with
yeah,
you through different ventures that you want to go through in life. And I mean, that obviously
yeah,
makes
yeah.
makes things a lot easier, makes things a lot smoother. And if you don't have that, I mean, it seems to be a bumpy road,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I tell guys at work, I say, guys, it's great to be an electrician, great to learn the business, but I go, you guys got to take your money. I know what you do with your money and invest it, whether it's 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, save your money, find something that you can either get a down payment on, finds a duplex, a triplex that will help you pay the mortgage. You just get into the game, find something, you know. Some guys did at work, they did get into some real estate, thank God. And other guys just, they have no incentive, they have no drive, right? They just want to rent and pay, you know, they want to they want to play their Game Boy at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, they don't care about making money or,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different
So,
different mindset. I appreciate you coming on and you know sharing all those things with me. It's inspiring, man, and I hope, you know, the younger generation, honestly, they start to think about the trades a little bit differently. And you know, we're having trouble right now in the company that I'm at, where we're having trouble finding those guys that have good work ethic, right?
yeah,
You can find guys, but guys with good
yeah,
work ethic, there are very few between, you know.
wow.
Uh,
It's tough. That's my biggest problem. Right now, I could use probably another 3 or 4 guys with the workload we have, but I just can't find the guys. I mean, I can't find them, especially guys that I can give them work and say, okay, go do this job. I can find guys that I can have to go babysit, help them, but I can't find guys that I can delegate a job and say, go do it. And then call me if you have a problem, or don't call me at all. So it's tough to find those guys that are independent workers right now. Everybody wants you to hold their hand for them, you know. And some guys come back like, well, I have a couple of guys. One guy, he complains all the time. I said, do you want me to just come and
yeah,
do the job? Like, and send you home? Like, what do you want? Like, don't complain. Just do the job. Well, you know, I said, well, you know what? Let me go do it then. I don't need you then. Let me go do it. Well, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. Like, it's like you got to force them into a corner to do the job, but they always find the excuse not to do it, right? But when I say, okay, I'm coming to do it, screw you. And oh, no, I'll do it now. I think I can get it done. Like, you know, it's like,
yeah,
really, guys, come on. It's not that hard of a job, but you know what? Everybody wants, oh, please hold my hand, you know, show me this, show me that. Like you said, it's hard to
yeah,
find the guys, right? And that's why I've stuck around to about 15 guys, because I've got the guys that are manageable. If I can find another 2 or 3 guys, then I could expand into some other areas. But right now, it's hard to find until I
yeah.
find those guys, right? I have to basically try and steal something from another company.
Which is what a lot of guys do.
You get
They're
what I
poaching, yeah.
you gotta poach. Yeah, poach. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, I appreciate it, Gus, man. In
Good.
touch soon, yeah?
Thanks. Thanks, Brian.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good one.